Alright. Oh, would you be able to tell us a little bit more about the satellite? How that works?
How it works?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go
we're
back.
Probably curious.
Yes. Let's go back to the antenna. Inside this dome there's a big disc antenna. So actually the whole dome is almost empty. There's a disc antenna standing on the gyroscope, its own gimbals. When I start the computer inside, I start the transmitter, then the disc is starting to move and pointing to one of the 4 satellites I can use. There are 4 satellites I can use. Every ocean has a satellite. So you hear it, you have to be, you can see danger. That means if I operate the thing, I'm not standing here. If I'm standing here, you know, the radiation, you know, goes into me. That's unhealthy, that's not good. But operating this thing, I do from inside. So I switch it on, the antenna is pointing towards a satellite. And I show you, if you're coming with me, I show you how it works with several images. Being here is far away from the far enough away from the antenna. And then I've switched on the computer here. The antenna is pointing to a satellite. It gives me a signal. I can even, I think you can hear it. Now I switch it on. I don't know if you can hear it. The antenna.
Yeah, I can hear it.
It's a little bit.
It's like a little buzzing noise.
Okay, and yes, a buzzing noise. You get some lamps, and here it shows me, please wait, searching for antennas, for satellites, until it has a satellite. With this equipment, I can send my videos to Holland by satellite, moving images. So not only email, moving high quality images. And also the thing I can do, if you look at the screen, this for example is the weather map. It's the weather map. You see, this is the Aleutian Islands and Alaska.
That's the clouds, huh?
Yes, the clouds. So let me show you where is Hawaii. Then I'm going to half size. Okay, here are the Hawaiian Islands. The little blue. You can see it?
Yep.
Okay. Here we have clear skies.
Is that
the black?
Is that how does that image come? Is that?
It comes.
I mean, is that a real image of the Hawaiian Islands, or like is that a digital?
No. It's a real image. You know.
How do they look blue? I mean.
No. The blue is in the real image is only the clouds.
Oh, I see.
And the map, the blue thing is just printed in.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So, and that's a little receiver. I mean, it's not now. Certain times of the day I can receive one of the satellites, NOAA satellites. That gives me a picture like that. So I can see now right away clear skies on the Hawaiian Islands. All this clouds, that means squally weather, showers, everywhere something. Then there is a clear patch again, and the big depression, low depression, bad weather, is moving more or less from Japan towards the northwest coast. This is the Aleutian Islands. So when I'm leaving, I'm going from Hawaiian Islands almost straight north to the Aleutian Islands here. Okay, that's the weather. That's the weather. You can movie, you can go to normal size, the big size. So about 10 times a day I can receive the weather. Then if I want to see the ice, let me show you the ice. So how do I know where the ice is? Of course you get weather. and weather means also icing conditions. So if we are going back to the computer and I go to, okay, two ways I can get it. Let's go to this one. Aha. Shows small, okay. Let's make it bigger. Movie, normal size, movie, double size. Look. That's Alaska, the right side. That's Russia, Siberia. This is the Bering Sea and the Bering Strait. So everything what is white is open water. That's a digital makeup from a photograph from the ice. All these red spots here, icebergs. Then this red and yellow and orange, that's the ice edge. So this is still full of ice. You know, the darker blue, the thicker the ice. Like here, you know.
Black really dark? I mean,
no,
really,
no. Black is land. It's the land.
Okay.
So that's St. Lawrence. That's an island. That's an island.
Oh.
This is the Privilege Islands. You know, they are in the summertime full of sea lions, seals, everything. So black is land. But now look at the Arctic, the blue. The blue. You can see it's dark blue. It's thick ice. This is thick ice, this is thinner ice, but thin ice still means 3, 4, 5 foot. How thick is the ice? I can see, I take another map. How thick is the ice? Black. Ice. I can receive on my weather, look, going up. That's like a weather map chart. You see the same thing. This is the Bering Sea, this is the Aleutian Islands. That's Alaska, this is Siberia. St. Lawrence, the Black Island, is here. This is the other island, the Privilege Islands. That's the Bering Strait. Now you can see how thick is the ice. And, for example, let's take the H. H. H is 9 to 10, and the N is 4 inches thick. Fy is first year ice, greater than 47 inches thick. So here I can see where the thick ice is as well. So I can, here, this is sea-free ice. Sea ice-free. This is no ice. Here is the edge, what we saw on the other one in color, and that's where the thick ice is. So these are the images. It's coming from, you can see it, it's coming from the NOAA. Look, Sea Ice Analysis, National Weather Service, Anchorage, Alaska. This is coming from Anchorage. Oh. So there are several stations. I can receive their weather maps or video. But then another thing I can do with this computer, look at this. Look at this. Now I'm going, let's go to my documents. Here, now look at this. I selected the photographs from my next book already. That's photograph number 1. And then, this is a beauty.
Ooh, that's nice.
That's nice. And then, you know, I should, let's say I take number...
Where was that one?
That's Strait of Magellan,
Oh, yeah.
South America.
Oh.
But if we go, no, I want to show you. That's here.
Nice
The boat is at anchor. Yes, this is a village in Patagonia. 300 people living. These are their streets. These are streets. They don't have cars.
What's the street?
Those
okay.
slatted thing. You know, that's street. They don't have streets.
Wow.
They don't have cars.
That's Aleutian. Where is that?
That's Patagonia.
Patagonia. I'm sorry.
But another thing of Patagonia, for example, is this ice again. Glaciers.
So,
That's ice. This is about 500 feet high. This ice wall. I went very, very close. And then, you know, to see, okay. When I arrived in Honolulu, this is what I saw first from Honolulu. You see?
Hey, there we are.
The sky, yes. And then the next one, this is the next one, this is 30. That's the way I arrived, you know. And I didn't feel fine the first days, because after all the nature I came back in a world of bricks. Really, really, really. You know, afterwards I have a great time, but that's how I felt. I didn't like. And then when I left 31, no, oh yeah, this was just before the lightning stroke, the weather, just before.
All right. Well, that was interesting about the computer and everything. You know, I was thinking a lot of people like to, they're interested in like the Polynesian voyaging, and like we had the Henke layout and everything. Do you think you could tell us a little bit more about the Easter Island thing and your book and everything on that?
Oh yeah, I mean, I wrote a book about Easter Island as well. It's 20 years ago, so let me show you.
Okay.
See, most of my book is about my travels. But when I was on Easter Island 21 years ago, I stayed for 7 months. Jeannie was pregnant, one of the reasons.
That was your
That
wife?
was my ex-wife,
Right,
yes.
okay.
She was pregnant, one of the reasons. And you know, it was winter time and we stayed there. And in that time, I wrote this book. It's actually called The Navel of the Earth. And it's in Polynesian, Te Pito Otu Henua. I think in Hawaii they understand this. It's about not only about the statues, but what I heard from the people about their knowledge about seafaring, the Polynesian Triangle. I've always been interested in seafaring people, Polynesians, Vikings, whatever, but especially the Polynesians, because they did the longest distances ever in history. So I started to write about knowledge about boats, you know, their double canoes, and what type of boats they use throughout the whole Polynesian islands. And then, you know, I made already a map with all possible voyaging. And look at this one. I think this one was very important. The possibility to go from Rapaiti, from Mangareva to Easter Island. And not long ago, I think a year ago, 2 years ago, Hokulea sailed from Mangareva.
Oh, wait, stop.
And scholars have always disputed it. They always said this was impossible. But look, everything is in here. New Zealand, Easter Island, the Hawaiian Islands, the whole Polynesian Triangle. And where they came from. You know, Southeast Asia. I also put Thor Heyerdahl in it with his rafts, log rafts, you know, the balsa. I put it in it because I don't want to say there was never any contact. The Polynesians came from there. So when I was on Easter Island, I wrote about it, and I wrote about the statues. And even, you know, the people I met, they were young by that time, and I met them again 20 years later. And then the statues, you know, it's not a mystery. All statues are made on the island. And why did they make that? Now, okay, this Polynesian people, Hotumatua was the first chief. He arrived with 2 canoes on the island. After long, long voyaging, you know, chasing away from one island to the other, wars, the way the Polynesian life was in that time. Then they arrived on an isolated spot. There were trees, but not as many as on, let's say, the Hawaiian or the Marquesa Islands. So they started to make statues out of stone, first small ones. But then those statues, they are no gods. They actually are images from deceased chiefs, which they call Airiki. So every chief who died, every village had their own ahu, was a platform from stones, like you see on the Hawaiian Islands, and they raised statues. And through the years, every village wanted a bigger statue, a bigger statue, a bigger statue, better and bigger. That's how a human being is. Until they got wars, village wars, and they were throwing statues, you know, throwing them just over. That's how it happened. So when the first European came, Jacob Roggeveen, the Dutchman, He is the only one in 1722 who saw the standing statues. After that, Captain Cook came, and Bougainville came, La Perouse, a Frenchman, and they all found these statues. But the amazing thing from Easter Island, it's an isolated spot with, you know, once a great civilization. They even had written, you know, they are small canoes because they had no big trees anymore. They even have a written language called Rongo Rongo. It's a written language with kind of petroglyphs like in Egypt. And no one up to now can exactly explain what it means. When I was there 20 years ago, there was an old woman called Mama Veronica. They called me Papa Hank and Mama Veronica. You know, if you have children, they call you by your name. Mama Veronica, she was an old lady, more than 80 years old. And when I showed her the Rongo Rongo, dus they sang, she started to sing. And I wrote down what she sung with seeing these signs. I made the drawings. After that, you know, big books has been written about it. It's not a scientific book. It's about seafaring, how people live, how they go from one island to the other, and being back in the Polynesian triangle, the northern part, Hawaii. I was amazed going, you know, going over the island to see stone statues, to find petroglyphs. I was on the big island, and it's amazing that the language, for example, my son is called Wairoa, which means water, big water, long water, roa. In Hawaii you would say Wailoa, and on the Samoa Islands you say Waitoa. It's all the same language, which is amazing. I must say, my travel books, they sell much better than my popular scientific book. It's not science, you know. It's what I have seen and heard on the islands. And the legends they tell me, and the songs they sung. Yeah, it's great. You know, I wrote this book for Mama Veronica, Atamu, Atan, the fisherman of Hangapico, Isabel, who lives near Tahai, and Antonio Tepano. These were my friends. They were all 20 years older when I came. You know, you might wonder how I came to this sailing and traveling life. I'm 54, I said it before, I'm 54. But I'm traveling already since I was 15. And how it happened? I'm born in the inland, not near the sea. Nothing to do with ships, in a village in Holland. And it was a boy's dream to become a captain. I wanted to become a captain from a ship. Like there are dreams to become a pilot or a nurse or whatever. I want to become a captain, a boy's dream. So I was on high school, 15 years old, 14 or 15 years old. And I didn't do very well in high school. I didn't like the study, you know, and going to school, didn't like that. So I wanted to go to sea to become a captain. And then after a short fight, months it took, with my parents, because they didn't let that boy go to sea, you know, I got permission to find a ship. So they found a merchant navy, a ship. And I've been working from my 15th till 28th of age, I've been working on the merchant navy. I started as a sailor, just a deckhand. I became an able-bodied sailor. Then I went to nautical college for, when I was 18, for a year, and later again a year, and later again for 3 months. I became an officer, third, second, first officer. And when I was 28 years old, in 1978, I became a captain. I was the youngest captain in Holland.
Wow.
It was also the year that I quit my job. I quit it because I had no house, no car, I had a sailing boat. And it was the other dream, to sail with my own boat, sailing to the Polynesian islands, to the paradise. And that was my first voyage. So since I was 15, I was on the merchant navy, and since I was 28, I'm sailing the oceans with my own small boats.
Wow.
And it's not cruising like water sporter. It's exploring. It's going somewhere. It's seeing the end of the earth from here to there. You know what's my ideal world? I wish the world was flat and not round. Because round you're coming always back to the same place. If the world was flat and there was no end, you could keep on sailing forever. But the world is round. Yes. Yeah.
What's those pictures on the wall?
Yeah, these pictures. When from the marina or the yard, the shipyard, when I left Holland 2 years ago, there were some other boats as well. And there was a family living on a catamaran. A family with a dream, you know, whenever it's possible, sail the world. And on that catamaran was a little girl called Vera. She was 3 years old.
How cute.
Or 4 years, maybe 4. And she made this drawing. And this is not a cat, this is a green polar bear. She told me. That's what she told me.
Cool.
This is a green polar bear. Her mother wrote it like that, and she wrote in her, you know, she just started to write, 4 years old.
That's so cute.
You know, for Henke from Vera.
Oh my god.
And that has been here for 2 years, because that's a green polar bear. And then the other picture, it's my motorbike. I have a small motorbike on board. This was on Easter Island. And there was a lady, a Dutch lady, a tourist. A woman with her child. There was a little boy. And when his mother saw the island touristic way and going with horses, they have a lot of horses to see the statues and the volcanoes, he drove with me on my bike and he sent me this photograph.
That's
done on
cool.
Easter Island. And this, you know, this is in Dutch, but actually written is here, and it was the day I left Holland, the 12th of June 2001 I left. And written is here because everybody asked, can we come and wave goodbye? And I said, everybody who does not want to come is welcome.
Yeah.
And that's written here. Everybody who does not want to come is welcome.
So,
And that's actually what I do. That's TV work. I'm writing articles for some magazines and newspapers. So what I have to do every week, every month. You know, this is radio. Every month I'm on this radio. Every 2 weeks I'm on this radio, interviews, things like that. So this is, and very important, email addresses from Russia and so on.
wow. Oh, I saw you had a Russian language tape.
Yes, yes. I bought it here in the bookshop. You know, Russian in 7 days.
Let me see that.
But you know, after 7 days I only can say da, which is yes, niet, which is no, dobra dzień, this is good morning, dobra noite, which is good night. You know, it's very difficult.
Let's see.
Russian in 7 days.
That's class.
Yeah, but it's difficult. But when I'm there, I will say, I will know some more words.
Just show him the tape. No, I'm kidding.
No, show the tape. One tape is in.
I tried.
And
No.
one tape is in. You know, one tape. And now if I go to my tapes.
Hey, yeah,
Here,
let's hear a little bit about your music.
Я заказал стол. Я заказал стол.
That's cool.
What do you recommend today?
Что вы порекомендуете сегодня?
Holy mackerel.
Что
Стуй,
вы
дуй, дуй,
порекомендуете
Тимонокро.
сегодня?
Wow.
I love beef stroganoff.
Я очень люблю бефстроганов.
Я очень люблю Строганов.
Ooh, that's pretty good.
Я очень люблю бефстроганов.
Я очень люблю
I'd
Строганов.
like caviar.
Okay.
Me too.
Я хотел бы икру.
Crew they call it. Crew. But that's how I
Я хотел
learn.
бы икру.
That's how I try to learn some Russian.
That's cool.
Yes.
Well, what you said you like music a lot.
I got 250 music CDs on board.
No kidding. You have a
250.
wide variety of interests in music, like
Now,
different.
you know, it's a wide variety, but it's, you know, it's not the top 40, you know, which you hear on the radio nowadays. I got U2, for example. But I got Van Morrison, which is from my time. But for example, this one. I love this one so much. And it's completely different music. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. Listen to this one. got about 5, 6, 7, maybe even 10 ton weights.
You're kidding.
I love this.
Nice. Interesting.
Yes. And you know, okay, I got some Spanish music as well. I bought it in South America. But it's more U2, Van Morrison, Morphine, which is the group he died. Nick Cave. I don't know if you know Nick Cave. I got a lot from Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds. But this.
Do you listen to music a lot while you're sailing?
While I'm sailing.
Yeah.
Yes. When I'm sailing with good weather. When it's bad weather, I want to hear the wind, the weather, the boat croaking and moving. But when it's nice weather, I listen a lot to music.
You sleep right here, right?
Because I'm single-hander, I sail alone, I sleep, you know, I don't go in my bed, you know, in my bunk. When I leave from here to the Aleutian Islands, it will take me about 17 days. That means 17 days I'm dressed up. I'm not taking off my clothes, I'm not going, I sleep half an hour and then I sleep here. Because when I sleep here, fully dressed up, you know, when the boat leans that way, you know, I sleep against this one. When it leans over the other way, I sleep like this, up. So I cannot fall.
Oh.
So here I sleep. And from here I have a view on my instruments. I can see the compass, I can see the wind direction, the wind force. I have a view to my
See out the
instrument.
window.
So I wake up, let's say every 10 minutes, I look, or I wake up and I'm fully dressed, and I go out and look outside, everything alright, so I don't sleep whole nights. An hour, 15 minutes, half an hour, 24 hours going.
Wow.
And sometimes when the weather is very bad, you know, you cannot see, I might take a cushion and just sit here and sleep.
Oh my God.
Sleep.
Wow. That's pretty hardcore.
Yeah, but you know, you get used to it. When you're back in port, don't think you can sleep a whole night. It takes 3 days before you have a normal night rest. And the longest I've been going was 82 hours without sleep.
Oh my
But okay, does it mean you are still alert? No, I'm sure not. And I might have, you know, sitting here and sleep a little and wake up again, things like that. You're not alert anymore. But I haven't been sleeping for 70 hours, once for 82 hours. And then after that you are finished. You're tired, but you can't sleep. And then most of the times the weather gets better, it's just a bit better. And then, you know, or on deck or on my sofa, there's a whole day, I keep on sailing, maybe reef down the sail a bit, and I sleep a bit more. And on my radar, you know, one of the instruments, on the radar, I can put an alarm ring. That means if ships are coming closer, then within 3 or 6 miles I get an alarm.
Wow.
And you know, instruments like this shows me the position. This shows me I have more things also about the weather. Look at this weather. This weather talks about Monday, mostly easterly winds 10 to 15 knots, sea 5 to 8 foot, thunderstorms near Kauai and Oahu tonight, shattered showers elsewhere Tuesday, east wind 50 knots, sea scattered. You know, you have weather forecasts, isolated showers. Channels between the islands, 6 a.m. Sun caution advised for Kauai Channel due to possibility of waterspouts and strong and gusty winds. So that's also, you know, you get information through the weather facts, through the computer, through enough text like this. Position, here you have position as well, but here you can see the islands, the radar. So it all gives me information. You see, these are the islands, and we are zooming in. You know, you cannot really navigate on it, but you can go between the islands from one part to the other.
It's hard to see, let me see.
Yeah, I don't think you can see it.
I can get a little bit.
Yeah, but if you go, I mean, this is this distance. If you go out, you know, to the oceans, you know, look, the Hawaiian Islands, and I have to go north. It shows you part of the world.
That's by the satellite too? Or?
No, this is by GPS.
Oh, okay.
This goes by GPS. And actually this is GPS as well, without a map. But while sleeping there, I can see the instruments, I can see what's the course, or whatever.
What's the map that you have there?
This is the map from the Hawaiian Islands. You see here is Molokai, Lanai, Maui, so the big island is here. And, oh yeah, you can still see when I left. When I left in September to go north, it was this course. Look here, and there I was the 19th of September, you see? 8:15, and then I went further north. And then when I came back without instruments, this is my course exactly with the nose on the island, you see? Without instruments.
Wow.
And then I came back this way.
Wow.
So here we are, Honolulu, Waikiki, this is Pearl Harbor. And then I probably go, before I go north, to Kauai first. That's a day sailing. And then here is Nawili Wili, but here is Port Allen. And I would love to go to a small port, Allen, or to Hanalei Bay. Have 3 possibilities. So this means that this can be quite choppy, you know. Kauai Channel is wide, the winds, the trade winds here. But that's open ocean. It's really open ocean to Kauai. And then from there I'm going north.
I noticed a little clown over there in the corner. What's that all about?
That's my clown. You know, I got this clown when I divorced 17 years ago, something like that. I got this clown from my ex-wife. And she said to me, because you're only a clown. And since then I took the clown with me. It has been 4 times around the world.
Wow, lucky clown.
Yes, lucky clown. 4 times, and once in a while I'm telling him, yes, I give a hand, I'm only a clown.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Hey.
It's a stone.
Really?
You know, it's stone. Because
No
you
kidding.
see,
It didn't even break, huh?
yeah, his feet break.
Oh.
It had long feet,
Wow.
you know, and it fell. Because it was first sitting here.
Oh, yeah.
But its feet break, you know, not this time, last voyage, so it's stone.
Wow.
It's
That's pretty amazing it survived that much.
Yes. It has
4
been.
times around the
But
world.
then here, you know, it will never fall.
Cool.
It's my friend. I'm only a clown. But you know, speaking about the clown, I got a song about the clown. It's a Dutch singer, and I love it very, very much. Listen. You know, I have to find it first. Wait. Oh no. Wait. Okay.
Tell me, all is well. Just explain this sensible suffering. Then I got myself that control.
Call me illusion, or a clown who turns the world so upside down.
That I need.
I love it.
Tell me, all is well.
So call me illusion, or a clown who turns the world upside down. And you know, I once read something which is actually part of my life, and that's I choose the roads less
Traveled.
traveled,
Yeah.
and that made all the differences. I choose the road less traveled. That's Frost,
Yep.
Robert Frost.
Yeah. There were 2 paths in the forest, and I chose the one that was less traveled. Something like that.
Yes, and you know, I'm a world traveler, and the time being on the Hawaiian Islands, I found, you know, that this is American, this is the US. I know, I found things, you know, I read all kind of authors, and this is what I found here. Yes, I choose the road less traveled, and that made all the differences.
Thanks a lot for having this interview with us. It was great.
Thank you.
You want to say anything else to the people the viewers in conclusion, or words of wisdom, or anything?
You know, what words of wisdom? You know, there are two dreamers in this world. And the first dreamers, they dream at night. And they hardly know what they have dreamt in the morning. But the second dreamer, that's the dreamer who dreams in the daytime. He has plans, he dreams, he makes a plan, and he makes from the dream a plan, a goal. There's too many night dreamers in the world. Too many. And these islands are beautiful, are really beautiful, but don't think it's the most beautiful place in the world. And I don't know the most beautiful place, because it's always somewhere else. Always.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.